6, 7, 8, 9, and it is 10.
What is it with me and laughing at the beginning of every video? Every time I laugh, mainly because it's typically when it's controversial. I think that's the chuckle. That's the controversial chuckle. The video game in the back of me is Jet X2O with the fancy foil cover, yo. Woo! Jet X2O. It actually looks pretty good for the PS2. I just popped it in for the first time. Hey! All right. Let's get serious now. This is not a movie review channel. This is not a social commentary channel. This is a video game channel. But we're going to be talking about movies and social commentary. I want to talk about Captain Marvel and Rotten Tomatoes. And Captain Marvel. And a lot of people don't know this, but actually Captain Marvel started out as a guy. And they moved it over to a female character, which is totally fine. If you're a comic book fan, you never had any trouble with female characters back in the day. You know, Gwen from Spider-Man, and I mean, there's all kinds of really interesting female characters. Even a female Spider-Man. If you didn't know, there's a female Spider-Woman. And it's never quite as popular as Spider-Man, but you know, it was a good character. She was in Secret Wars. She-Hulk is like, they had a hard time selling She-Hulk. I thought She-Hulk was a great character. And I have an action figure of her, mint in box, somewhere in this house of mystery that I built around myself. So, Rotten Tomatoes has stopped being Rotten Tomatoes around the Captain Marvel movie, right? Yeah, man. They've taken the ratings down, the user ratings, and I mean it's funny how there's a different articles about it have a different tone, and it is blown up in YouTube. All the the Geekverse has gone crazy about this thing, and I'm part of that Geekverse in a way. I mean, I love all that stuff. Silver Age, Bronze Age. Remember the X-Men cartoon? I mean, Jean Grey, Storm, Jubilee. I mean, come on, man. It has always been very diverse. Marvel has always been very diverse and broken down social barriers and done a lot of positive social commentary in my mind. But let me read this article. This is from Gizmodo. Rotten Tomatoes is changing its audience rating system because of trolls. So even though the general public has not yet had the chance to see Captain Marvel, that didn't stop the trolls from preemptively trashing the film on Rotten Tomatoes. Now, sometimes I'd just like to encapsulate, without just ranting. I want to encapsulate what's up here. The star of this movie engaged in disruptive social commentary prior to the release of the film. Now, whether you agree with her or you disagree with her, the relativistic element here is if you just pull the word out, whether that be a particular race or a particular gender, and swap it out, then it takes on a whole nother tone. Back to Captain Marvel. Even though the general public has not yet had the chance to see Captain Marvel, in what can only be described as a sexism-fueled attempt at convincing people that a movie about a female superhero couldn't possibly be good, now the ratings site is taking action to deal with the problem. Was it really sexism Didn't we have an Electro movie? Didn't we have ScarJo in the Avengers, who was smoking fine in that film and did a wonderful job? I mean, she stole the show. ScarJo completely stole the show. Am I wrong? Tell me if I'm wrong. Scarlett Johansson stole the show. Dude, really? And again, you're going to geeks that do a YouTube channel in their basement or in a closet, and you're telling these people that they're sexist. Because, one, they objected to some of the commentary that she's making and making the movie political. It's by design. None of these celebrities makes a public statement that isn't targeted or scripted. None of it's organic, man. I do not believe it. I do not believe that these celebrities come out and make these inflammatory statements as anything but intent behind it. I just said that off. No. These people are scripted on camera and off camera. That's my opinion. But yesterday, in a blog post, Rotten Tomatoes announced that it's moving forward with a number of steps to move accurately and authentically represent the voice of fans and reduce the influence of bad actors. When's that going to turn into terrorism? Bad actors, i.e. trolls. This is the statement. We are disabling the comment function prior to the movie's release date. Unfortunately, we have seen an uptick in non-constructive input. Does that mean an opinion that we don't necessarily agree with? I mean, if there's something that the fan base does not like about this film, and they express themselves, and it just doesn't happen to be in line with the political message or the wishes of these producers who have the money invested. So now we're afraid of bad opinions? Now we're afraid of dissent? That's the word. See, non-constructive input is a euphemism for dissent. You're a dissenter. We don't like you. You are politically incorrect. You are a wrong thinker. And the Ministry of Information doesn't like that. So it says, we can't arrest you yet. That's when you hear bad actors. Be careful now. We are disabling the comment function prior to a movie's release date. Unfortunately, we've seen an uptake. Right. Once a movie is released, audience can leave a user rating and comments as they always have. So what I'm trying to say is you're supposed to have that prior to the film. You know, some of it. Rotten Tomatoes is always removing the want to see rating, because they only had a 29% at this point. 29%. Not very good. If I'm deciding to see a movie and I see a want to see rating of 29%, Rotten Tomatoes is also removing the want to see rating on movie pages before they're in theaters. Now, the thing of it is too, I'm very interested in. I'll do my the thing that people do on air now that I see all the time with this crooked finger. What is that? What is that? Is that a dog? What is that? But anyway, the want to see rating on pages before they're in theaters. What I'm interested in is, what is the efficacy of this? Is this going to change anything? No. People that were not going to see it and put a negative review on it are still not going to see it. And then when there's no information, it's almost better to leave the bad information up there. To me, in my mind, because if I know the troll situation is going on, I'll be like, boom, whoa, what is it, 25, 29%? Man, let's go see it. How bad could it be? I mean, you almost get that. Wow, how bad is it? How bad is it? But there's no information. It's completely blank. I went and looked at it. I went and looked at the page, and it is blank. There is nothing there. It's just movie description, that kind of thing, in a gray area literally a gray area. I'm like, oh my God, dude. Rotten Tomatoes is also removing the want-to-see rating on movie pages before they're in theaters, saying that people often incorrectly assume that percentage is the same thing as ratings for people who've actually seen the film. And God knows we wouldn't want that misinterpretation now, would we? While Rotten Tomatoes doesn't mention Captain Marvel explicitly, the decision feels very much like a response. Of course it's a response, you fools! It seems very likely that it's a response to the trollish backlash that only intensified following Brie Larson's call for a more diverse press pool to cover the film. To that point, this kind of trolling issue isn't unique to Captain Marvel. Other films featuring lead characters who aren't white men, like Black Panther and Star Wars The Last Jedi, faced similar issues. In the past, Rotten Tomatoes has insisted that it was confident that people weren't trying to negatively game its system. And so it's good to see that the site is actually paying attention to the realities of the situation and taking appropriate action. They are now assigning credibility to these actions by calling them, by paying attention to the realities. That's a very backhanded way to say all the people that are disagreeing or have issues with her and the film, they're not credible, or they're ignorant, or they're uneducated, or whatever other euphemism that you want to select. You are not politically aligned with the Ministry of Information. Whether the angry dude bros like it or not, again, we're ascribing this to men and men only. What do you know that we don't? Why was every negative review from a man? I guarantee it's not. Whether the angry dude bros like it or not, the future of Marvel Cinematic Universe is female. Now again, take the gender out and swap it out with another gender. Let's try transgender. The future of the Marvel Cinematic Universe is transgender. The future of the Marvel Cinematic Universe is male. So we are going to do political ad-libs, social commentary ad-libs. I want you to listen to that one more time. Whether the angry dude bros like it or not, the future of the Marvel Cinematic Universe is male. I just picked another gender. If that said male in this article, it would be considered discriminatory and potentially hate speech. And yet we say female, and it's portrayed as a heroic statement. It is not. It is discriminatory. Whether the angry dude bros like it or not, the future of the Marvel Cinematic Universe is female. One gender over another. Not equality, not parity, not diversity. One over the other, which is discriminatory. Captain Marvel is about to save the Earth damn near single-handedly when the movie drops on March 8th. Oh, wow. And she's going to wall up Thanos' ass in Avengers Endgame a few weeks later on April 28th, where she'll be amongst other male and female superheroes. We work together. So what I have to say to the dude bros at Gizmodo and anybody else who takes this attitude, if you want to bring race and gender and other divisive buckets and labels to people to further a political agenda, then this is what's going to happen to your movie. Because most people don't feel like this. They don't feel that the Marvel Universe should be female. They don't feel that it should be male. They don't feel that it should exclude transgender or gay characters. They don't feel like that. Most people are nice people that want to live a balanced life. all this does is pull the balance in one direction. And it's, both of it are bad. And it diminishes the legacy of real inclusion and diversity that Marvel has fostered since its inception. This has been El Viejo Toro, the Fancy Action Now. I will not be seeing Captain Marvel. They've politicized it, and just like anything that's being politicized in our culture, I'm boycotting it. So, more fun and more funny videos to come. I wanted to tackle this one. It's a toughie. And hopefully you appreciated it, and I'm anxious to see the comments on this one. So, but please try to be mature. My subs are excellent people. But anybody that kind of strolls past and that wants to have a word, that's fine. But please keep it polite at the very least. This has been El Viejo Toro, the Fancy Action Now, for the gamer.
And it is 10. And it is 10.
Do it now.
6, 7, 8, 9, and it is 10.